Hey guys, welcome back to Stormworks, and welcome back to this thing right here. This is, of course, our mothership for our airboat, and at the minute she is moving. She has a little tiny bit of interior in terms of the bridge, and she has a space for the airboat on the back. What are we going to do today? Well, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit more detail to this thing. We're going to add an interior, and we're going to get this thing possibly on the workshop. So, let's go ahead and get straight to it. Things are going quite quickly. There's the airboat on the back of the ship already, and she is looking pretty nice. Yeah. What I need to do now is add a winch into this section right here so that if we need to, we can actually pull it in. That might be something that we need to do eventually, I'm not sure, but we'll see. Also, that over there is this ship, but on its side. Don't ask me why, I don't know. Okay, it's time. Delete these guys as well. Go ahead and get ourselves an end piece, chuck it straight onto there like so. Get ourselves a winch, and we're going to chuck that into here. We're only going to need a tiny one, so we'll just use this one. There we go. If we paint around the edges, that would be great. There we go. Excellent. What we're then going to do is add, well, I guess buttons to allow this thing to actually work. Here we go. Buttons. We're going to go with toggle. And it'd be nice if they could go here, but they can't. So I guess we're just going to go ahead and chuck them in front, and that'll be okay. All right, there we go. Attach them to the ground. It is what it is. Actually, you know what? Even better would be to put them up here. Ah, that could be actually kind of interesting. There we go. All right, check those on there. We're going to have out, and we're going to have in. And that's all we need. All right, next step is to actually add some way of getting up and down the stairs on the interior. So that is what we're going to do right now. Although I am going to paint these really quickly because they shouldn't be there. But yeah, we need some stairs. I'm thinking we actually shove them in the side, which could be pretty weird. We'll only do it on one side. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and delete from here to like there, I guess. And let's just shove some stairs in and that'll be fine. Okay, so stairs are in the room. That's pretty nice. What I'm going to do next is add some railings at the top of said stairs so that it looks nice in here as well. So we'll just do this. We'll go ahead and do this. We'll go to the outside. We'll grab a corner piece. Is it easier going to the outside than using the actual inventory button? I don't know, maybe. Alright, there we go. So now you can get upstairs into here if you want to. We then need a way downstairs, so I'm thinking what we do is we add some stairs on this side, going down into here. Alright, there we go. So, we've obviously got some stairs down there now. I need to add some railings at the top like I did on the other side, so let's just do this. There we go. We then need a corner piece, so let's go to railings. We'll shove a corner piece right on there like so. We'll attach these guys together, not diagonally, obviously. We'll just go straight. There we go, and there we go as well. Now, what I'm actually thinking we do is, instead of building this out to be, I don't know, the nicest boat on the workshop, what we do is we leave it as somewhat of a hull. What that allows us to do is to not really do much interior, but it does allow us to allow you guys to do whatever interior you guys want on this thing. It's got an engine, it's got the airboat, it's got everything it sort of needs to move. It just doesn't really have an interior or much on the deck, but you guys could probably put that on. Hey, that could work. That might be interesting. Okay, this is just going to be for show, actually, right now. But what I'm going to do is delete these guys. Grab one of these, chuck it onto each of those. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Go from there to the ground, and obviously that is the engine room back there. So let's just shove a door in right here so you can't really get to it straight away. What I then want to do is bring out a wall from here. Just a little bit. There we go. We're going to bring it this way quite a bit too. And then I'm just going to send a wall from here all the way down to the end. And that'll be fine. What I'm then going to do is add doors into each of those. A little bit along every time? I don't really know. I'm thinking we go with here. Maybe. Every one of these needs a door. Let's just go with that. There we go. You need a door. You need a door. There we go. Now, I don't need to add doors into every single one on both sides, just this side, and that should be fine. There we go, and that's all fine. So I go from here, all the way to the end, pretend that those are all separate rooms. That's all good with me. Okay, so that's all we're going to do for pretty much the interior. I'm not going to add lights on the interior just yet because depending on how you guys want to retrofit the inside of this thing, depends on where you obviously want the lights to be. So there's no point in me putting lights in. Anyway, what I want to do next is add a few ropes. Yeah, I want some ropes down the sides. I think they'll look pretty cool. So we're just going to go ahead and chuck them in, and hopefully they will be just that. Pretty cool. So we'll chuck one there. We're going to go along a little bit. We're going to chuck one there. Along a little bit more. We'll chuck one here. And then here. And then it gets tricky. But I'm thinking here is right. Maybe. Then there. There we go. Then we'll go with just underneath the window, I think. And then we go with just here. Okay, right, that's a bunch of ropes added. I might do one more on the front just because I can, and that's going to go right there. Okay, attach all the ropes together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 7 and 8. There we go. All right, go to the other side. Do exactly the same thing. All the way down. There we go. And I think that'll look pretty good. Alright, spawn her in, let's see what she looks like. There's a little bit of paint needs to be added to that, but otherwise, I think it should definitely look pretty cool. It does. She's a little bit low in the water, though, at the minute. Very low in the water at the minute. Alright, so let's say we are moving along, and then we want to deploy the airboat. Unfortunately, the airboat is trying to escape right now, but that's fine. Don't worry too much. We are listing quite a bit as well, but again, that is actually possibly okay. There we go. Let's say we want to stop right here. There we go. We're stopping. I don't know whether the list will, like, counter itself out. I'm not entirely sure. But let's go ahead and press out on this. We can jump onto the boat. We can actually turn this off. There we go. Go here. Key button. Excellent. One for reverse. We should be able to trick ourselves off into the water. Ooh. What did we get stuck on there to do that? Yeah, well that doesn't work, does it? Alright guys, I've added a way to lower the boat off. That needs to be -1. Yeah, 1 second. Alright, here we go. Shove it up in the air. Alright, awesome. Get rid of the rope. We don't need that. Jump onto the vessel. Yes, press 2. And we slide off into the water. Easy as peasy pie. Easy as peasy pie. It goes underwater a little bit, but that's okay. If you then start your engine, you can reverse backwards a little bit more without going underwater, hopefully. Here we go. Reverse. Am I stuck? What's going on? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. It was stuck in forwards. Okay, that's my bad. That's my bad. Okay, and then we can drive around. Yes! Okay, totally works. Getting it back on, I think, is going to be a bit more of an issue, but that's okay. Let's go test it out. Okay, so it is going to be a bit tricky, this, and the main reason it's going to be tricky is because the gripper isn't necessarily flush with the bottom of this boat. It is actually down underneath the boat. But if we go ahead and connect onto the winch, maybe we can still possibly winch it up. I don't know. In? Alright, let's see what happens. Yeah, we might get stuck underneath, and that would be an issue. Because then it might want to flip itself onto the boat. And if it wants to flip itself onto the boat, that's a problem. Okay. Okay. That's not gonna work. Okay, here we go. So now if I press 2, we slide off into the water. I was hoping that that piece would be a little bit lower in the water. So maybe if I do this. No. This? Aha. Maybe if I do that, it will be low enough. Nah, I think I need it to stick out a little bit more. Yeah, I think I do. So let's go ahead and try and make that stick out a little tiny bit more. And when I say a little tiny bit, I mean quite a lot. There we go. Is it weird to have a ship with a bit sticking out the back? Nah, probably. But that's what we've got. Okay, so now that we're in the water, this is where the hard part comes in. We need to go backwards a little bit more. And then we need to line up perfectly with that little line that's in the water in order to get back on the boat. Are we going to be able to do that? I don't even know. I don't know, but let's try. So, we line up that little mark with the center of that, and we just go for it. Here we go. Alright, I missed it by a little bit, but then we floor it. Yep. Floor it a bit more, and we're on. There we go. And then you just park it on here, you get off, you go back over to this piece and you do this, and your airboat is back on your actual boat. Who would have thought about that? There we go. Beautiful. Alright, well, that is actually going to be it for today's video. It was a bit weird, it was a bit short, in fact it was very short. I was expecting to fully do the interior of this thing and the exterior, but what I want to do is leave it pretty much as a base shell, and then if you guys want to use this thing as, I don't know, like an empty hull, and build onto it whatever you want to build onto it, then go ahead. I don't know, I feel like that's kind of an interesting thing to do. Anyway, for now, thank you guys very much for watching. I have a few ideas on what I want to build next, so we'll figure that out. And then, I guess we'll get straight onto it. But for now, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one, where hopefully we have a really cool video. Thanks for watching, see you next time, goodbye.